welcome to yet another CODEstantine meetup. My name is Bratislav, and I'll be a host of today's CODEstantine meetup. Today's event is about integrating automated testing into DevOps and Agile. So this is one of the first quality assurance events that we've organized. So I saw a lot of new faces, a lot of new people joining up us today. So we're organizing this event with the support from our friends from QA Serbia, and QA Serbia is actually the largest QA community in Serbia. Huge thanks goes out to our events partner, Luxoft, and you probably heard about Luxoft by now. Luxoft specializes in development of software and creation of digital strategies for businesses in automotive, retail, banking, healthcare, and communication industries. So they're doing a lot of things. They're expanding their team right now, so there's an opportunity for everyone to check out their virtual stand in the expo area. And expo area is exactly just the icon below the stage on your left-hand side. So feel free to shoot any questions there, and their representative will be there to answer all your questions related to what do they do and how do they do it. So as you probably know by now, CODEstantine is a developers community founded in Niš, Serbia, and expanding further with every new CODEstantine meetup. We strive to gather top tech experts and to talk about variety of tech topics. We've organized more than 30 CODEstantine meetups and 6 CODEstantine conferences so far, and we have become a community of awesome tech experts and developers. You can check us out on our website, CODEstantine.com, for further information. And also, there is a little surprise when you go to CODEstantine.com, and I'll just leave it to you. Just a quick mention of No Limit Hub. No Limit Hub is actually a team that stands behind the CODEstantine conference, and we have been working on the development communities of entrepreneurs, startups, and tech experts. Today with us is Olga Podbelo, and she has been a DevOps engineer with over 18 years in industry, so she's pretty much experienced with a lot of DevOps and QA things. So she will share her expertise with automated testing in Agile and DevOps, and how we can facilitate also business growth. So that's super exciting, and we are super excited to have her today with us. And I would like to thank you, Olga, a lot for joining us today and for taking the time to do it. But before we start, before I leave you to Olga, I would like to encourage all of you here to participate and to ask as many questions as you want. And yeah, you can do that in the chat box that's on your right side. Thank you. And Olga, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Bratislav. Yeah, it's very exciting to participate in such a meeting here, because to meet new people, to meet new community, usually is a very special experience. So let's start from scratch. Can you please help me with sharing a presentation? Maybe we can proceed.
There
okay.
it is.
So yes, thank you. So what's to start from? Sorry, I'm a bit nervous. I didn't do it for a lot, so that's it. So, okay, that's actually me. Let's introduce myself a bit. Yes, I'm working for IT for a long period of time. Actually, it's near 18 years or so. So I started working like a manual tester of hardware. So all these motherboards, monitors, and other things were tested manually by hand, like a support engineer also. So most of my experience based working as a system administrator for a long time on different projects. And one day we just we became DevOps. So that was most interesting fact, that nothing actually changed. We did do automation. We do use Puppet, Chief, CI/CD, and other stuff. But after that, we just raised up like a DevOps, and that's how it usually goes. So the industry changed, the methodologies changed. Some of them grabs some experience in previous, some of them runs over and over, and involving a lot. So what is it all about? I have experience in different kind and different type of projects, working for product companies, also working for system integrators, like Luxoft, for example. It is a big system integrator. If Bratislav will allow and you want, I can talk more about Luxoft later after presentation, because I am working for Luxoft near 6 years. So in these 6 years, I was working for 5 different projects. All the projects was really different. So if I want to summarize all my experience, it looks like 60% I was working for system integrators and 40% for product companies. Different product companies, big, less, or some financial companies, for example. So and usually it depends on different type of projects. So the projects can just, let's divide it somehow. So it can be a startup, then you are starting something from scratch, doing some interesting things or trying to get it to the market. Or then you have some legacy projects which have some history, huge repositories, maybe built on the system version control, not always there were Git for us, and we can use it, and benefit from it actually. So and if I will measure my experience one more time, it will be still 60 to 40. So 60% will be legacy projects, and 40% will be like brand new projects and startups. And the interesting thing here that it didn't depend on each other. So inside system integrator, you can run brand new projects from scratch, starting implementing something maybe inside big enterprise company. And in product company, like maybe payment system or something like that, you can actually deal with the legacy code and legacy system that you need to somehow fix, standardize, or build. Actually here maybe I don't see you all, unfortunately. I would like to, but maybe I can just start a little quiz and ask you what experience more you have for legacy, with legacy code, or maybe with startups and starting from scratch. Even if you are participating in projects from scratch, but now it's not a startup, I would like to know. So Bratislav, can you please return and can we please run this short quiz just to involve people more?
Yes, for sure. Okay, guys. So it would be great if you wrote down your experience in the chat box. So
yeah, we can do it binary. Like put 1 if it's a legacy project, and put 0 if it's a brand new startup, for example.
I'll also write it as a poll. Legacy project.
Oh, I just don't see this poll or anything else. Yeah, so. But I would like to hear from you, because I never tried to learn how it goes in the market, but I'm interested in what is your experience too. So I'd like to know, and maybe you can share.
So let's see.
Yeah.
We have Andrea started from scratch. Stefan, legacy code. Another legacy code. Another legacy code. Yeah. So most of the people are with experience with legacy projects.
Okay. So deal. Thank you for answering, and thank you for communicating. We will do it a few more times because as it is not online meetup or not like a personal community or personal communication, I'm still interested in you, but I cannot see your faces. So that's usually goes then you are working like remotely, like we mostly do after COVID. Yeah. So
I hope we'll get to see you all on some local event in Niche.
I
As
would
it'll be amazing, of course, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's switch to the next point. Oh, it's waterfall. Yeah, usually previously project managers, or Bratislav, I understand what was the mess with this empty slide. Just here between the first and the second, sorry, my mistake, should be one more slide. So what we are doing, what we are working, why we are doing all this, like developing, testing, and analyzing maybe. So what is it all about? It is about business. We all usually dealing with some product that we should implement, that we should bring to market. So the project, just let's stop on it. It's a series of tasks that need to be completed to get some specific outcome, and it should be time frame. It should end it once. So a project is a set of inputs and outputs which should achieve some particular goal. So doesn't matter if it's legacy code or it is like a brand new project. It should be measured. It should have its start and its end. So and usually before this all agile development, right? We will talk about it because our theme is about agile DevOps and integration. Yeah, and of course automated testing. So what does it mean? What was waterfall? So we are following step by step, like trying to, so we're collecting all the requirements, designing the stuff, implementing, testing, and deploy and support after. But the problem is that this process is not flexible. It's running from start till finish, and we are delivering our product only once we finished it. So and after that going support. But what do you think? Does DevOps methodology matching this waterfall model? So do we need DevOps here? Yes, we will define DevOps later, but I think most of you actually already know what it is. So does it suitable for it? One more question. Bratislav? Sorry, yeah. Oh, you're learning. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see. Can you please repeat the question?
The question is, do we need a DevOps here? Then we implementing something due to waterfall model. So just a guess, yeah?
Yeah. Stefan says, I think no. Yeah.
Why no?
Opinions? Yeah, Stefan, can you elaborate? Like, why do you think it's not a good idea? Andrea says it's a trap. Question.
uh, Actually, maybe we don't need. So just imagining we're writing a code here, yeah? So we collecting some requirements. We need a button to just on our site to, and it should work all the time, yeah. So we collecting some requirements, we designing the architecture. But during the implementation, yes, we still can use some automation here, definitely. But we are not involving in continuous delivery and continuous integration. So our requirements did not change during the project. Nothing changed. So it's still, this model still can be relevant on such projects, on some of the maybe automotive projects, or then you building some low-level software for the chips or for robots or something like that. Actually, it didn't work like this, but we can imagine that it could be like this. So we are building maybe like this one. Yeah, we're building an embedded software sometimes. And yes, it can use waterfall model because we are just implementing everything, going to version 1, uploading it to the clock, yeah, and it's working for us. And after that, yeah, we have support, we have maybe new versions, but it can be suitable for that. So we do one product in 1 year, for example. That's it. But in our world, we usually have requirements that changing. The situations is changing. We usually, even business or developers, we did not know what we should achieve, how the product will look like after our first release. Something should change, and in many kind of projects we are releasing very fast. So just from my experience, yeah, I was working for some company who was delivering like a payment system, and we have for 300 Java microservices, which we were delivering all day long. So we have pretty tough schedule of deliverables of each module, and we were updating all the system usually on regular basis, 2-3 times a day, a week. Some modules update runs faster. So in that case, we usually don't know what we will get as a result, how the result will look like. Actually, the business don't know how the results should look like sometimes. Starting the project, for example, we're creating some service desk system, and the customer who are coming, for example, to our company and wants us to create a system for them, just assume that it should just include the people, every customer of our customers can log in, can collect some information, can just get some emails or get some logs of their activities or their payment transactions, for example. So they assume that it will be the requirements, but the requirements usually can change. So from waterfall, we still can benefit. The important thing about why project managers loves waterfall. I could not say that all the project managers, but it's really clear to them how to measure the cost of the project, how to estimate it, so it have clear timeline, yeah, and all the requirements are defined. That's really important thing. So and for developers, sometimes it's easier. They know what will be in the requirements document. They know the architecture. Actually, waterfall usually enables huge discussion on the start, and then you just doing your stuff. So, but the problem is that the projects usually involve the requirements involve. Yes, and clients can be not involved in the design and implementation stages, and after that, sometimes they came to you and said, no, we want different stuff. Or yes, this red should be changed to green. Definitely, it's not good. So we have a deadline creep. Then one phase of the process is delayed. All other phases of the process is delayed. So that's the mostly problem. So once this all gaps was defined, um, we just the community, everyone who develops and delivers a project wants some different methodology, and then comes Agile. So I put it here in the presentation, just the basic manifesto of Agile. Actually, Agile, pure, it's only a practice. It's not regarding the implementation usually. So, and the main thing is here that we are enabling communication. So we trying to be more flexible, to interact with customer, to get some collaboration here. So we are usually responding to any change that we should make. Actually, I don't know. So our highest priority here is to satisfy the customer, and we can deliver how we can satisfy the customer. We delivering our product earlier for them to test, to see, and to make changes. So we are okay with changing requirements. Even in the late phases of development, we want to give customer the competitive advantage. So we know that maybe different product have some functionality. Even yes, we can bring it to us. We can make it new. So we deliver frequently, just in a week, in a month, or even faster, and or that's usually get everything more interactive. So and for this, to achieve this, business and development, like every stakeholder which are involved in the project should work together, should communicate, should just maybe daily go throughout of the project and involve in some meetings, or so usually changing everything. Yes. Sorry. And actually, Agile is usually about the team which can work on its own. So be more separate, be more flexible to choose the implementation on their own. So they efficient and effective. So the development team can and should here communicate face to face to the customer. So, and that's it. We are involving everything in this process. And yes, usually we should have some breakpoints to measure how the progress is going. So the Agile aims to provide complete deliverables. So it should work, yeah? And here we can return. So we have any questions, Bratislav?
Yeah, I just posted a poll on what the people are usually used to when it comes to waterfall or agile approach. We have 0 votes for waterfall, and most of people, 80% of people work with agile, and just 20% of people is mixed. So agile definitely wins this battle.
Yeah. Important. So agile is about stakeholders mostly. So all the people who benefits from the project, who is involved in project. I have slide here. So yes, all who benefits, like project sponsor, end user, actually, in this all scheme, we didn't have a support or an operations. I will explain. So the product owner, the development team, which can consist from developers, testers, usually consists from maybe software architects, analytics, or security specialists. It can be different, really depending on the project. But why we didn't have support engineers here? Actually, I didn't know. But they had not benefits on the project, and the project, like the definition is project, it not includes operation. That's interesting, but that's a fact. So all the people who we see here, who is the stakeholders of the project, like the Agile defines them like a stakeholders of the project. They should be comfortable with this project. The project should be measurable, should be transparent for them. They should see every iteration of this project, how it's going, what the timeline, how it costs. So yes, it's all about that. So what agile methodologies do we have? Actually, I think then you said, then you answered mix. You mean that you use maybe Kanban or maybe something. The poor methodology is not working. So agile it's just agile in pure is not working. It's usually not implementing in the teams. Just for example, agile says that we should leave all the activities to the team, pass them to the team, and team will decide how they will do. But from the project manager view, for example, it still have costs, it still should be measured, it still should be controlled on all these stages. So this and here we're returning for the waterfall and trying to get some of the good stuff of it, so the measurability and other things are and apply it to agile. So and here we have some methodologies which are brand new and working different. So Scrum, Kanban, Extreme Programming, and one else which I didn't know what, but it exists. Okay. So one more poll we can create: who are using Scrum or who are using Kanban more? That's really interesting. It could be mixed. During one project, you can have teams working on Scrum and teams working on Kanban. For example, in the project in which I am working now, in which I am involved, we have several team members who are working with Kanban and the other teams who are working on Scrum with all the ceremonies and everything. So and Scrum, I think, may be more popular now. Let's give it a try and let's create a poll. Yeah.
I just posted a poll. Well, let us vote right here. So by now we have Scrum 80%, Kanban 16%. Let's see. Let's wait for a little bit more. Okay. Scrum is still leading.
It should lead. Actually, it should lead. Yeah. But let's. But I'm working on Kanban now, for example. So please poll it for me.
Yeah, let's support Olga here. Kanban all the way. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Yeah. So
yeah,
actually,
83% use Scrum and Kanban 16%.
Wow, awesome. Yeah. So maybe we should stop a bit and Scrum. So Scrum usually requires some environment that that has short cycles. 1 month, usually 2 weeks, definitely, which calls sprints. And we have some Scrum ceremonies. You usually wake up in the morning, and that's our stand-up. Yeah, morning stand-up usually. I don't know, till I'm working from home. It's usually happens after. Then I just open my eyes. So. The Scrum team also involved one more stakeholder or person which is involved, and it's Scrum Master. I think this conversation should be like like how to implement or how to run Scrum should be it should be one presentation for that, maybe made by Scrum Master who is really good on that. But returning to that, so increments of valuable work are delivered in short cycles, and we have product owner developments, and we are accountable for turning the selection of the work into increment of value. So for our sprint, we are planning some measurable, so like 2 or 3 tasks for each person, and we should achieve that. And we usually the important thing here that the stakeholder, like the product owner, should be involved in defining this backlog, in this in everything what is connected to the backlog and to the tasks which we are just bringing to the sprint, which we are doing during the sprint. This important point usually skipped by the product managers. Then just a little remark, so most of my career I was working for system integrators, and the thing with the system integrators that you usually have 2 bosses, so you are like evolving, just moving between them two. So even if you are team lead, I actually was a team lead for 3 or 4 years. I don't know. So, and even if you team lead, you have this both project managers from 2 different companies and you have a team who you should support and who should organize to work. And the requirements from these 2 stakeholders, main primary bosses to you, sometimes can be different. So that's a point of discussion. Maybe we'll run it after in QA session, but it's really important point. So all these ceremonies, all of this is due to my experience. Then you are starting new project. Yes, it's usually good to have. Then you are like a system integrator coming to the customer company, and they choose you like an expert, and you should help them to set up their processes. So that's the most of my work was about this. So Luxoft or any other integrators just coming to the company, win the tender, and tried to help them to set up all the processes inside the company. So it usually not that's a common mistake, that system integrators usually like sell the people, the resources, the developers and QAs and DevOps, so to the customer. No, actually the involvement is deeper. So usually customer invites system integrator or specialist from system integrator and to his project. Maybe then the project stuck. So returning to the poll regarding the legacy code, just imagine the situation. You have a great idea. You started to implement something. You have a big company, for example, and in this company you're running like returning to automotive. You are running something like smart system of something. Yeah, just I don't want to talk about my job, but you were delivering it for some time. You have all the financial aid made by your company. You are doing your project. You are doing like POC, MVP. So usually on this stage, you may be not using the stack that you actually will have later. So for MVP, you can do whatever you want. You can use any tools, any just any maybe programming languages you want to get it easier, to get it just as so you should create your POC or MVP as fast as possible. But then you are going to deliver something, you should get it work faster. So you will be maybe low level, you will use maybe low level programming languages like C or something like that. So it's not for MVP. But usually after that, after you prepared something, you understand that there is chaos. So I see many projects which were which didn't have a system, which didn't have an architecture or a plan. So they have a plan, they have money, they have their effort to make something, some product, but inside the project, we're talking about legacy projects now, yeah? So inside the project, we have chaos. It's pretty usual. Then the system integrator is called to set up the processes, to set up the deliverables. And yes, the Scrum framework here is good because, for example, the benefits that you can have, like every stakeholder will have a benefit. So the business will have an epics and sprints tasks connected to each other. We can see the whole workflow. Returning to the integration, we usually have, for example, Jira or something like that. And here we have the integration inside. So integration with requirements system, integration with testing system, integration with everything. And this all brings us this traceability and everything else. So yeah, Scrum is good. But sometimes we should not we should not follow all Scrum ceremonies that we have. So for example, if you have high seniority level team, you maybe don't need to run stand up every day for them. They actually are experts. They know what they should do. They have just and for the deliverables, better if they focus on work mostly than on meetings. So here, maybe we can run one more poll because I'm really interested in how many meetings a day you have. So usually then you're enabling all the Scrum ceremonies in the project, you have too many meetings maybe. And sometimes it's distracting, it's break your work schedule. You just started to thinking about something, starting to implement in something, and now you go to the meeting. So you have this time to switch your mind to do the different task, to talk or maybe to do something else. So how many how many time a day you spend on the meetings if you're working on Scrum?
I just posted a poll. How many meetings a day do you have? So guys, just hop in to polls and let's see. Let's see how you're doing your meetings. So right now, we have 3 votes for 1 meeting a day and 3 votes for 2 to 5 meetings a day.
That's much. Yeah.
We don't have 5 and more, which is good.
Yeah, 5 and more I have, then I was a team lead. Usually 5, 6 meetings a day. So just imagine a year ago, before starting, just not a year, maybe less, I started to work on this project on May. I could not count months. And before that, I was working for year and a half as a team lead on a big platform development. So we have a huge Russian bank. Just a bit of storytelling. Yeah, we have huge Russian bank which tried to create their own software as a service platform, like cloud platform, to platform for development, and it wins the government tender. I don't know. The summit was really big. I really want to have this money. We all, yeah. But they win the tender, and they sailed sailed and support this this platform. Sorry. For every government institution, like financial department, the health department. So all the departments now started to create their software, to create their services to run on this platform. So it was a really huge project. And during that project, one time happened that, so we have different, we have more or less 400 DevOps in one project, hired in 2-3 months. So I was involved in hiring project. This was pretty tough. So part of this meeting was interviews. Yes, and this company have a lot of money. They have a lot win a government tender. So just during 3-4 months, we hired 400 DevOps engineers, only DevOps. I didn't mention like software engineers or testers. It was pretty huge, big project. So and during all this, I was working for the department who was delivering this platform and supporting it. So we have so the project started from scratch. It was brand new. It still have that chaos, and not everything was really defined. But by the way, we have like 50 people team who was supporting and delivering this product. And in one moment, so I understand that team lead who was working closer to, so we divided support and delivery to the different environments because it was really huge. So in our type of environment, we were delivering for some 3 or 4 these government organizations. So in our just deliver maintenance and support this part, we have two teams who was delivering to this environment. I don't actually know, just maybe it will be UAT environment or something like that. It was named so a bit different. It doesn't matter. So, and we have 25 or 26 DevOps engineers. We divide regarding a Scrum. Definitely, we divided to 2 teams because in Scrum methodology you should have 10 or less people, not more, because all our morning stand-ups and meetings then go to 1 hour, not 50 minutes. That's tough. And so in one moment we lost our second team lead. So maybe he was first, I don't know. And so for 8 months I was running 2 of these teams, and all my day was meeting, all day long, just from morning to evening, all the day long meetings. It was tough a bit. Sorry. So returning to the DevOps here, because we are talking about DevOps really now. So what actually DevOps is? It is a methodology like an Agile. It's like a recommendations here, yeah. So how we will implement it really depends on our project, on our processes, on what stack we have, on how often we deliver, and something else. Usually, yes, let's look like this. You all, I believe, see this picture, and I don't need to explain it usually. But regarding the DevOps and Agile, how can we unite it, and how can we define what the benefits we can have here? So actually, the DevOps have some practices, yes, so like infrastructure as code, CI/CD, but we will talk about maybe Agile and DevOps. So we are DevOps, just returning basic, DevOps was started like a conversation between operations and developers. So unfortunately, this was separated somehow. So like we were it was actually, it actually happens in my life too. So while I was system administrator, we not interact much with programmers, and usually it was maybe long ago really, but we was always like nerving each other, but because just we created maybe 10 or 5 new servers, and they get and broke our service with with their programs and code. So yes, and it was really I think maybe most of you have this maybe not most, I didn't really know. It's an interesting point to discuss, but maybe during QA session. So do you really somehow see this gap between developers and operations? Do you even have been involved in that? Or maybe we can run poll now, I don't know, but it's really interesting. So yes, I'm old enough, sorry for, for mentioning that. I'm old enough, and I saw this all before we have this DevOps methodology, and we try to communicate closer with each other. And so the main question to all are, do you ever have or see this like gap in communication between developers and operations? Or maybe you still have like a developer in your team, and you don't have some problems with DevOps, or they didn't do what you actually need. So that's it. That's an interesting point. I will grab some water while you're answering. Okay, do we have any answers here?
Okay, guys, you can switch to polls now. So we have yes, no, and sometimes. So what would you say? Okay, so far, yes is leading.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess this also depends on the how large is the team, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I guess the larger the team is, the gap becomes wider.
Yes, one more interest, not just one more fact. If you, for example, have, you can have one or two, so you have separate DevOps team. I saw that are just served different different developer teams. And for example, if development teams is pretty small, like 4 or 3 people, they don't need. Actually, they maybe don't, they maybe need, but from the cost perspective or from the project management, they don't need a DevOps on 100% time. So it's like a service that you can provide. Actually, I faced it in a big bank. Then I was working like a configuration manager, and we were just providing a service. It's a common practice, really. Then you are as a department, as an IT department, you are providing services to the customer teams. So it can be like internal customer team. So you can have internal customers. So you are like I was involved in this several times. So like we have a set of tools, yeah. So maybe something for requirements. I don't remember. So usually, yes, Jira to hold our project, Bitbucket to hold our code, Confluence to just to have some documentation or some rules inside, something like that. And all this is integrated. So I participated in just in many transformations that we run to enable this standardization. So just trying to imagine, we have 200 teams in the company, which are usually every team working on their own. So they have their own environment, their own server. Maybe they have dedicated DevOps if it is a pretty big team. But we want to make these all deliverables standardized. So to use the same set of tools for each project, for example. So, and we're migrating all our teams to this unified stack to bring this traceability, to get this visual pipeline or visual line. Then you have requirement, and you can follow it till you reach the release. So in any stage we have a release, and from this release we can figure out what tasks was done to release this, what tests was done for each of these tasks, and what requirements we are covering here. So and this unified stack we were creating and involving teams, like promoting this stack to the teams to switch to the standardized stack that we are supporting, and we are supporting, updating, maintaining. So they should not. So just these development teams should not focus on how to back up their software, how to back up their infrastructure, how just they and only focus on deliverables. This all what DevOps brings in this. Yes, so the standardization usually. So we have different metrics. Sorry, we have questions?
Yeah, just to tell you the polls results. So 60% is yes, there is a gap, and 30% is sometimes. So I guess the overall is yes, they kind of have the problem with communication. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, maybe we can run some offline webinar to discuss this. Yes, because so it should be somehow resolved. It should be resolved on this DevOps level. Yeah. So because sometimes usually DevOps should serve the other should serve the purposes of the project. So this all serves the benefits of the business, the benefits of the product that we're creating. So returning to the best practices here, yeah? So Agile, definitely, we defined it. CI/CD, continuous delivery, continuous integration. Yes, definitely, yes. If we should deliver anything as fast as possible, if we have this time to market, yeah. I have slide regarding time to market, but okay, we can do it now. So we should have this time to market, these metrics, which is very important and which is usually involving business in all of the steps. So and then we're building these CI/CD tools. Implementing the automation. We are usually saving the time and efforts. And yes, we can do. Yes, we can do. That's like the many iterations. Like we, you definitely should understand me well, because we're usually fixing something and delivering the next version. Yeah. So the continuous integration and continuous delivery. Actually, DevOps is about tool chain. So and usually we're choosing some tools. And regarding the tools, they should be we should support these tools. So better for tools, it's usually depends on costs, on licenses, and for example, Jira has its own licensing involving the amount of people that you have working with it. So it depends on support, and the support is really important because, just for example, your coach base or Cassandra or something else is broken, is acting like not normal. You have all the metrics, you have all the monitoring, and you understand this gap. And usually then you have a support, dedicated support from the maintainer to the tool. It's easily to involve them to debug what is going wrong and maybe to create a fix for you. So why you usually maybe should not, but we still have open tools, and it's better to use tools which are supported, because you don't want and you don't need, and your team should not, actually DevOps team should not waste your time on just fixing the tools which should work just by scratch, just from scratch. So you just getting the tool and integrating it and using it like you want. So, and all the DevOps perspective, it should be like this. So you have already created pipeline, you had already created automation. So the process of deliverables for developer and tester should be smooth, should be very smooth. So you just get your pull request, you run your tests, and after that you can just you can merge to master, run the tests one more time, and you usually have something, okay, let's call it button, then that can deploy it to the environment that you need. Yep. So yes, implementing the automation. We will more talk on automation. Then we will talk about testing more. But and the most important here, to monitor. So we should run as more metrics as we have. We should monitor all the DevOps pipeline and all the applications. Usually it more goes to CI/CD. Previously, then we deliver to like not maybe to virtual machines. Yeah, so now we have Docker and everything else. And previously, then you deliver to virtual machines, or God bless, to some hardware servers. Yeah, so we should ensure that the versions of modules that we use, the system that we use, and everything else is matching the production system. So we are developing something. We should be 100% sure that all the testing and all the deployment will be with the same modules, with the same versions, within the same operation system, with the modules and versions which are matching your production system. Because actually this code at last should work there. Yeah. So we should monitor all of this. Observability, or that's the best, I think. We have many cloud native microservices applications, and everything, especially monitoring, is considerably, it's complex. As a result, that's it. We have observability. So like it's logs, traces, and metrics, the three pillars. Yeah. So all the system components and applications, they creating these logs. Actually, maybe yes. This topic, actually, like observability, it deserves its own presentation, on term. I don't know. We are just now going on a high level, just trying to understand how it all works, or maybe I believe you know that, but maybe to summarize it, yeah? So, and yes, the DevOps, the Agile, it's about continuous feedback. Yes. So you usually try to gather metrics, to gather this continuous feedback. Regarding testing, how it works, you are collecting defects. You collecting the level of defects, the level of bugs, like critical, blocker, or something like that, and maybe and these all usually change the requirements too. So this all should be involved in. Oh, there is a presentation. Sorry. Okay. So yes, we discussed it. I forget to switch the slide. So yeah, the DevOps is about culture. The culture, how we work together, how we deliver the product. That's one I forget. Okay, so I like this. I really like this phrase. So I will read it. Sorry for that. I understand that you can read it too. But DevOps makes testing a shared responsibility of the entire team. Yes, that's how it should work. While test automation enables developers to ship code changes quickly with high confidence of quality. Definitely, yes. So yes, it's regarding quality, it's regarding your product. And I like this is a phrase from Atlassian's Twitter. I just grabbed it grabbed it for me because it's perfect. So what tests do we usually have? Actually, we have more. Definitely, I forget something here, but mostly it's about unit integration and end-to-end testing. It's trying to deal with it somehow. Then we have our pipeline. So we write our code. We have it. So what we should do after that? Usually, not usually. Usually we have some code linters, like we are looking at our code. Yeah, I think everyone knows what does do code linters. They check the spelling. Yeah. So actually, it's a topic for conversation, but sometimes you have the systems to after fix code. For example, in Go, it's developed inside the builder. So yes, here is that's really interesting to me. Just grab some statistics. Do you use after fixes or not only code linters? So can we just quick poll here, Vladislav, please? It's really interesting because there's many conversations on this topic. Do we should have after filling, or it's just from hell? It's something like that.
Can you please repeat the question so that I can define it better?
Okay. Do you use after fixers for code? So not code linters, but after fixers. Something like then the robot and the program see that your code didn't match some standards. It tries to fix it on their own, like it's like automation do. Like, yes, but there are many conversations. Sometimes it can break something. So did you ever use it in your practice, in your work life? So did you know about it? Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, guys, let's jump to the polls. So we have yes, no, and well, maybe.
I like this answer.
Yeah. So let's see if people are honest, or do they want to stay anonymous when it comes to fixing. Okay, so far no and well maybe is leading.
Maybe they didn't know. It's really possible. Not usually everyone involved in just deeply in DevOps pipeline. Maybe they do some strange magic inside. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still 40% for no and 40% for well, maybe.
Okay, so yes, that's tough. That's tough topic. Should they be used or not? It really depends on stack. For example, yes, for Go it can work. They have something built inside. So then they created the language and they maintained it. They are actually left this opportunity to fix the code automatically while merged. Yeah, no, not while merged, while built. That's okay. just for fun. Okay, so sorry, returning to the topic. So we have during the build we're running this unit and sometimes integration tests. Sometimes it's sometimes hard to it's sometimes hard to say even if it's unit or integration tests, but here it's a point for discussion. But usually when you're building something, yeah, you're running a test. And yes, you have automated pipeline. I believe you should have here. Have automated pipeline here that is running this test during a build for you. It's what you usually do, what you should do anytime you build something. After that, we usually we have some questions here.
No, Olga, I just want to mention that we don't have time. We don't have a lot of time. Yeah, we have 5 minutes or 10 minutes left. So yeah, we can maybe split up a little if we can.
Okay. Yeah. So trying to be quick. Okay.
No problem.
Sorry for that. I planned it only half an hour presentation and looks like it's bigger. Yeah. Sorry. Yes, I think as we are mostly testers community here, so maybe you know about these types of testing, and let's leave it there. So maybe something can be added here. I definitely should. But so regarding the metrics about bugs or defects, so for example, we can collect it once a week to rework it and to create requirements from them. So from testers' perspective, from the perspective of the project, requirements is very like it's a basic, yeah. So this whole process is built on the requirements. So and from what sources we can have requirements? Just yes, it's easy. It can be really quick. So business technical debt. So we have some architecture, or maybe we have some improvements, or maybe we do need something here. So from testers, we are collecting our metrics. I believe we collecting them, and from these metrics, we see that we have some gaps or something like that. From customers, definitely something not working. From support, which usually I should not separate these two last items. So customers go to the support, and we have the requirements. So this. Yes, this is a common thing about defect accumulation theory. So like 70, yes, you see, yeah, I didn't rinse. So 70% of defects groups in 30% of code. And this how we can define this buggy model or buggy thing. And usually then we have a pipeline. So firstly, I still need to return here. I forget to say something maybe interesting. So just we build the code, we run our unit test. After that, we are running this integration testing. But to save time, so our DevOps pipeline can be dynamic here. So inside our code of pipeline, we can have some tags to test only one model which we changed, not anything else, not everything. Yeah. So after that, we are completing these end-to-end tests, which end-to-end testing, which are usually more time usually have more time to run. So it's a good practice. Then you have doing your regular, so you can to get it faster. You can do it in parallel, or you can do some regress testing during the night. And I know many cases, many projects that doing it like this. So you running all your regress testing, all this testing at night, then at night, and that's work. It's all this time that you need to run them. Yeah, that's pretty good. So and definitely before you merging your code into master, definitely 100%, please, you should run all the tests, all, everything. So that's it. Yes, here was regarding time to market. Okay, so but we talked about it earlier. So actually, I think I would like to have more questions, but I think not much time left. Sorry for that.
Oh, that's great. Actually, we do have a few questions, so we can answer them quickly if you're up for that.
Yeah.
So we ran some polls on the beginning of the event. So we have a lot of experienced QAs here, but we don't have a lot of experienced DevOps engineers. So we have a question here. Do you have any advice for DevOps beginners? Like, what should they read? When can they do to earn more experience in this area?
Okay, so actually I'm conducting some DevOps interviews for maybe last 3 years or so. I don't actually remember. So usually, if you already have this job, yes, to go higher, like to be a senior or to grow, please don't forget about communications. Your soft skill is necessary to, because you should usually talk to entire team. Yes, you should be good at Linux, definitely. You should know at least one scripting language. Better, easier is Python. Usually Python is always mostly conducted to automation than you are DevOps. So yes, I use Python, for example. Yes, you definitely should know how to debug or how to understand what's going wrong. So troubleshooting is the basic skill. Yes. So it's good. So running many interviews, maybe we can talk about interviews like some one more time. But then on the interviews, usually I try to ask basic questions like how you understand DevOps, or if, for example, so you should be good at Git. You should be perfect knowing Git, because Git for now is a standard. And I faced many candidates that are not familiar with Git, but all the development done there. So you should understand how it's working. What's the difference between the fetch, just pull, push, merge, branch. You should understand how it's working, and it's more configuration management here. But for example, I usually provide a case. So you have a development team, and you are just setting for them like repository. How would you recommend them to what branches do you will recommend? How you will manage this repository? What will be the versions? So this all, it's a gap. It's really gap. It was on many interviews that people failed to explain how work Git. But Git and Linux now is a basics. It usually that you so you should know everything. Yes, it looks like DevOps should know everything, but you should know about databases. If you want to involve to earn more, you should definitely study cloud environments. Kubernetes, Terraform, and you should be familiar with at least one configuration, with at least one system like Ansible, for example. Yes, so maybe not Chief and Puppet, they are not they are rarely used now, but they was very popular some times ago, and I think still someone use it and they are happy with that because it's pretty good. But still, returning to the question, Bash, Linux, DevOps like a practice, so what it brings, yeah? Ansible, definitely. Terraform, just read how it works, how it goes. So what's the difference between Ansible and Terraform? What is mutable infrastructure? It's usually good then you know how code should be standardized, and read about testing, please. Read about the more you want to grow, the more you should be implemented, the bigger view you should have on all this environment. So you should understand everything, just from how requirements are built on the project. If you are just senior or team lead, you should understand this. So how requirements are built, how we are implementing them, how we're testing them, what is inside your project, how to separate the project and modular parts, how to do this all GitOps, and what is Git flow. Just that. Sorry, I can talk about this many. I can say many things about this, but I think I barely answered. So cloud, yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh yeah, thank you, and thank you, Stefan, for asking a question. And let's do a quick one. So Ivana had a question: who is defining DevOps backlog and item priorities?
It's really good. It's really good question. I don't know who is asked, but it's awesome. Thank you. And it's sometimes really tough to define. So we usually have a tech debt. So the DevOps, everyone who deals with infrastructure usually have a tech debt. So we should do one more for everyone to be comfortable, to use comfortable. Actually, it still relies on business somehow. So if we should just have one more pipeline, or if we should, it still depends on what developers need now to achieve their results faster. So for this purpose, you usually have your tech lead or the architect. Usually it's a tech lead, yeah, who decides what and how it's it. It usually this question really depends on the project because it can be done different ways. If you want DevOps working for a small project, you are defining what should be done. And regarding the DevOps backlog, sometimes DevOps can work on Kanban, not on Scrum. So sometimes it's easier for them. But we still use Scrum, yeah, most of the time. But sometimes it's not necessary. It depends, really. It's hard to answer. It's a really good question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for answering, and thank you, Ivana, for asking a question. Olga, do you have anything more to add?
Oh, I think it will be a bit complicated. I talked too lot.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have any more time to talk about all of these. This is a huge topic, of course. We mentioned that the other day, Olga. So hopefully we will have another event when we can explain everything that you talked about further. And yeah, maybe some workshop, maybe something's cooking there. So yeah, that will be great. For the audience, keep your eyes peeled on CODEstantine meetups and events. So And if you liked the presentation and Olga, I think you might see her once or twice more. So that would be amazing. So Olga, thank you so much for your time and for the great presentation. I really enjoyed it, and I really hope the audience did too. It was very useful.
Please give a feedback.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, all you guys right here, you will get the feedback form. So we'll expect your honest opinion on the topic, of course. So thank you too. Thank you everyone for being with us for almost hour and a half. So yeah, that's a lot, and I can see a lot of you are still here. So that's amazing. That means that it was interesting and useful for you. I would like to thank Luxoft for supporting us, and our friends from Curious Serbia. Yeah, just make sure you follow us on the social media, and take a look at our website, and just to see what's next for CODEstantine and what's next for us, Olga and Luxoft, for sure. Thank you everyone for watching. For the ones who did not make it to the live meetup, you'll have our video posted on the website, so you'll get to watch it again. Olga, thank you once again. Thank you to everyone who's joined us, and see you soon. Okay?
Thank you.
Goodbye.